Topic now it's a 30-minute session on Dengue Summit, and the speaker would be Dr. Puneet Kalra, and our eminent panelist, Dr. Kupreja sir, Dr. Pankaj Garg sir, President IIP, Delhi. Arey. Sorry for the glitch. But I'm sure you don't need to see his face, or all of us know him very well. Guess the face, right? And for the chairperson, I would like to invite Dr. Singara Velu. Welcome, sir. Dr. Devender Sareen, sir. And Dr. Anil Sabharwal, sir. Welcome, sir. And I welcome Dr. Puneet.
Thank you so much. And without much ado, I would like to begin the talk. So we all know about the fact about dengue. Dengue happens to be a disease which is a sheer global catastrophe in terms of the enduring numbers. The numbers which we are actually talking about are huge, but first disclaimer is that I am a full-time Takeda employee and the vaccine is currently not launched in India.
Just a short interruption. Lunch would be starting at 1:15. It would be a running lunch, and you can carry on with that.
Once again, thank you to AOP East Delhi, which is my parent branch. So I'm here as a host right now. I can take this privilege. So without going much ado, the vaccine is still not, is approved in 40 countries around the world, but it is not yet approved in India. So we all know about the fact that dengue has a huge disease burden in India. As per the latest data, there have been more than 30 to 50 million cases which can actually be there. And the underreporting is massive. The actual number of cases which are occurring could be 300 times than the number of cases which were being reported. And 98% of all DLIs, dengue-like illnesses, which are being reported as per a recent study from AIIMS Patna are dengues. So with this move on to the next part. When we talk about the seroprevalence of dengue 1 and 2 happen to be the most important serotype.
Puneet, this is causing a lot of disturbance because very important data is not being seen. Just one moment. वो कर रहे हैं उसको. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so this was the first slide without the black spot, and I move on to the next slide. So huge underreporting of dengue, that is the take-home message. Okay, and second one, dengue 1 and 2 happen to be the most important serotypes. We have analyzed cases over past 70 years. 1 and 2 have been the most common, though dengue 3 and 4 are also emerging in states like Northeast, Andhra. And why I am telling you about all this, it becomes relevant for subsequent slides. Why do we need a dengue vaccine in the first place? We definitely need. Dengue outbreaks can overwhelm the healthcare systems. There is no specific antiviral which is available for dengue. Prevention is limited only to vector control, which has its own limitations. And we talk about dengue, it is a really challenging virus to capture. The very fact of the matter is that we still do not have any antiviral, any therapeutics against dengue. It speaks for himself. And talking about dengue vaccines, it has been more than 70 years, and we are still trying to find a perfect dengue vaccines. The earlier dengue vaccines had their own problems, and there are multiple factors. There's no animal model, there's no disease correlate, cross protection does not suffice, You need a multivalent protection. Making a monovalent vaccine is not possible, and there's a tendency to have a severe disease with secondary or the second dengue infection. So the idea is that process should not be replicated in a vaccine, and the vaccine should give a tetravalent simultaneous protection which is equitypic, and that is a challenge. So, and then there's a concept of antibody dependent enhancements, which I'll be talking in my next slide. So there's a definite need for tetravalent vaccines. So when we come on to the global clinical developmental program of the vaccine, Takeda dengue vaccine, TAC-003. So this, yeah. So overall, more than 14 countries, more than 28,000 subjects from 1.5 years to 60 years, and all the trials have been done in both baseline seronegative as well as seropositive populations. So this is a glimpse of the various countries, which includes both endemic and non-endemic countries, and TIDES, that is the tetravalent immunization against dengue efficacy study, happened to be the landmark study, which was done in both Latin American and as well as Asian countries. The Asian countries were Thailand, Philippines and Sri Lanka. India, we are doing a supportive study, which is a registration trial, which is a safety and immunogenicity study, pan-India. So any comments, Dr. Kukreja, Dr. Garg so far?
So just to make you understand that once you are saying seropositive and seronegative, there are 4 virus serotypes, 1, 2 and 3, 4. And if the antibody titer to any one of them is more than 10, you become still are counted as seropositive. So it's not that you have become positive to all. You may be just to one, you are still be counted as seropositive. And why we are so keen? So we don't discuss this concept that seropositives and seronegative we have to include. This is specifically for the dengue vaccine, because it has been seen with the previous vaccine which was there and which got into dispute, and we are not using the vaccine from Dengavax, that if you were using that vaccine, it was seen that it is approved only for seropositives, and for seronegatives that was not approved. So that is why to get new vaccine, you have to prove that it is efficacious, immunogenic in both seronegative and seropositive population. So that is the context that we are trying to set for this vaccine.
Thank you. Any comments, Dr. Kukreja, from your side?
Just because ADE occurred more often in case of Sanofi vaccine. If seronegative received the vaccine and then they got infection, they got into ADE, which is a very dreadful condition. And that's the reason WHO wanted that any new vaccine which is going to be under trial, it has to have both seropositive and seronegative individuals, so that the problem of ADE can be ruled out.
Yeah, thank you. So, as just to add on to what Dr. Garg and Dr. Kukreja just said, WHO for this second generation dengue vaccines, it clearly stated that their trials have to be large and they have to be done in both seropositive and seronegative. Now, since these trials were done in endemic countries, the ratio of seropositive to seronegative was around 70 to 30, since these are endemic countries, and the follow-up period had to be robust, okay, because it had to be, because the initial trends, the initial safety signs with the earlier dengue vaccines began appearing at the end of 18 to 24 months. So 2-year window was something which had to be taken care of, but WHO defined the range as 3 to 5 years, and we did a trial for 4.5 years to be on the safer side, because safety comes first. Primum non nocere is the guiding principle of vaccinology, first to no harm. That is why these trials were continued for 4.5 years, and that is why we sought registration in various markets. Secondly, large sample size, and then geographically dispersed data is also a requirement, because you might not get all 4 circulating serotypes at the same point in time in a single country. And this was seen in the trial, that dengue 3 and 4 was seen only from 3 countries, and in the current set of vaccines with TB003, which would be the next vaccine to come, there only has been 1 and 2 data. So, okay. So, the structure of both the earlier vaccines and the current vaccine differs a lot. As far as this TAC 003 is concerned, it is a recombinant tetravalent live vaccine based on a dengue 2 virus backbone. So dengue, you know, has structural as well as non-structural proteins. In terms of structural proteins, you have a dengue2 backbone, and on PRMNE, that is the structural proteins, you have chimeras. That is on dengue 1, 3 and 4 backbone. dengue2 backbone, you have replaced PRMNE proteins with 1, 3 and 4. But it is with a dengue, it's a proper dengue virus backbone. In the earlier vaccines, there was a yellow fever virus backbone, which was giving protection, which was only giving heterotypic protection against NS1, and there was heterotypic element of cellular protection. So NS1 protection and cellular protection is extremely important over here, which I'll be showing in my subsequent slides. Why dengue2 backbone was taken? Because dengue2 is the most common serotype which is occurring across the world, and it is associated with more severe variety of dengue. It causes dengue with more severe outcomes. Secondly, NS protection. The NS1 is a very important component in terms of dengue pathology. It causes plasma leakage, which can lead to circulatory failure and even death. That is why anti-NS1 protection is important to prevent endothelial damage and subsequent hypopermeability, which causes plasma leakage. So our learning from the previous vaccines was that humoral immunity is